Gine. Gine was a female Saiyan, the wife of Bardock, the mother of Raditz and Kakarotto, better known as Gokū. She debuted in Dragon Ball Minus and was originally part of Bardock's team. Due to her ineptitude for battle, she joined the meat distribution plant instead. She and Bardock died, along with the majority of the Saiyans, when Freeza destroyed planet Vegeta. Personality. Unlike the majority of Saiyans, Gine had a very gentle personality, and was not cut out for participating on the battlefield. Being saved by Bardock several times in battle caused Gine to fall in love with the low-class warrior, showing an affectionate side rarely seen in Saiyans. Gine was a very tender mother. Despite the normal behavior for Saiyans in her age was to be sent off to planets, she was very much against her youngest son becoming an infiltration baby at the age of 3. She also seemed to view her children with a touch of pride, speaking highly of Raditz becoming a combatant and partnering with the Saiyan prince to her husband. Gine displayed an infectious nature that her youngest son Kakarotto would inherit. Her innate purity and innocence seemed to have an effect on her husband, Bardock, who had initially been as ruthless as most Saiyans. Living with Gine, however, changed Bardock's own perception, a rare talent not many have. In Dragon Ball Fusions, she nearly reveals herself to be Kid Goku's mother when she encounters him in the time-space rift, though reconsiders and decides to keep their relationship as mother and son from him much like her husband does when he meets Kid Goku. She is shown to stand up for her fellow Saiyans when she overhears some fighters plotting to crush a Saiyan before they can transform into a Super Saiyan and become a threat, however she ends up being badly injured. Her refusal to stand by while these men were plotting to kill a fellow Saiyan is quite similar to her son Gokū, who is well known for his willingness to protect innocent people and animals. After Gokū comes to her rescue, she worries about him when he is attacked by Yama while asking if she is alright, though she is shocked when Gokū stops the attack. Seeing how strong he has become, Gine decides she wants to do something to help her son while noting that Bardock would probably tease her for being overly sentimental. Like her husband, she has no problem referring to her son by his adopted name, Gokū, though she does call him by his birth name when she first meets him. Appearance. Gine, as a female Saiyan, possessed a slim figure and a kind face that her son inherited from her. Common with all Saiyans, Gine had a shaggy black haircut that she wore to neck length, similar, in fact, to one of the many haircuts her grandson would later sport, and matching black eyes. Her attire consisted of modified combat jacket from the Frieza's army, a breastplate with armored straps, arm warmers, a skirt, black leggings, and white boots. Her Saiyan tail slipped out through a hole at the base of her spine. In Dragon Ball Z, Extreme Débuted, she wears pink battle armor with blue armbands. Background. Gine was originally part of Bardock's fighting squad, and fought alongside him as a low-class Saiyan warrior. However, due to her pacifistic nature, she found herself unsuited for combat, and was saved by Bardock several times. Gine later retired from the front line some time after she and Bardock fell in love, and began to work as a meat distribution employee. At an unknown point in the past, Gine gave birth to Raditz, and later, Kakarotto. On planet Vegeta, Gine was butchering meat before greeted by her husband upon his return to the planet. Assuring her husband that their eldest son, Raditz, is away on a mission with the young Prince Vegeta, Gine is asked about their youngest son, a baby named Kakarotto. She shows her husband the boy, who was kept in an incubation chamber for 3 years since his birth. Bardock tells Gine that they would be wise to send Kakarotto off-planet, and Gine is understandably worried for her son, forcefully telling Bardock that being an infiltration baby can be very dangerous. She concedes only when Bardock tells her that he mistrusts Frieza's intentions in recalling them, stating to have sensed the presence of death. Gine remarks that it isn't like Bardock to be worried for his child, and Bardock says her soft nature infected him. That night, the Saiyan couple steals an attack pod and sets a crying Kakarotto inside. Even in the midst of this, Gine still suggests they try to escape together, though Bardock says Freeza would detect them on his scouter. After saying their goodbyes, which includes Gine promising to retrieve Kakarotto should Freeza not destroy the planet, Bardock and Gine send Kakarotto to Earth, thinking that the planet is too insignificant to be a danger to the Saiyan child or warrant Frieza's attention. The couple have a final embrace as they watch their son fly off into space, with Gine giving her son one final warning to avoid the galactic patrol. Granola: The Survivor Saga. Gine makes an appearance in the flashback that shows the events that lead her husband to save the lives of the young Cerealian Granola and the Namekian dragon clansman Monaito during the invasion of Cereal by Team Bardock, consisting of Bardock, Leek, Taro. It is revealed that Bardock found Granola and his mother Muesli but couldn't bring himself to slaughter them due to being reminded of his wife and their newborn son, Kakarotto, which spurred him into helping them find shelter with another survivor, Monaito. Unfortunately, Muesli was killed by the Heaters, leaving Granola an orphan who grew up to hate the Saiyans for their part in the invasion. During the brief flashback to when Gine introduced Bardock to their newborn son, Gine wonders if Raditz will be jealous he has a younger brother, and it is revealed Bardock was the one who named him Kakarotto. Bardock is also shown to share his youngest son's ignorance to concepts unrelated to fighting, as Bardock notes how Gine's belly was smaller, indicating he doesn't fully understand how pregnancy works. It is also during said saga that Gokū finally hears Monaito utter his father's name, causing Vegeta to confirm that Bardock is the name of his father, with Vegeta noting that Goku's soft-heartedness apparently runs in his family, indicating he may be aware of Gine's gentle-hearted nature in addition to her husband's act of compassion on Serial, presumably through Raditz and/or due Gine's gentle nature ultimately leading her to lead the Saiyan army. When Gokū later listens to the audio on Bardock's scouter, his memories of his parents, previously lost due to his head injury as a child, were restored, him remembering Gine on the night he was sent away, as well as seeing other memories of her back when he was still growing in the nursing capsule. Broly film and Dragon Ball minus. On planet Vegeta, Gine is butchering meat when Bardock returns from a mission and both greet each other in a hug. She tells Bardock that Raditz is already a fighter and is working with Prince Vegeta. Since they are far away, though, they have not returned yet. When Bardock asks if Kakarotto is still in the incubator, she replies affirmatively and tells that it took 3 years. Gine then says that she will take Kakarotto out soon. A while later, Bardock tells Gine that he will steal an attack ball in the night so that they can send Kakarotto to another planet. Gine questions Bardock, who reassures her that it is for Kakarotto's sake. Gine remarks that it is not like a Saiyan, specifically Bardock, to worry about his children. Bardock shoots back that her uncharacteristic softness rubbed off on him. When Bardock brings the attack ball at night, he and Gine put the little and distraught Kakarotto inside. Gine suggests they all flee, but Bardock says it is no use since they would immediately be found through the scouters. Gine nervously reassures her son that if his father is just overthinking this, they will come after him right away. Bardock warns Kakarotto not to look at the full moon, they will tell Raditz about this too and Kakarotto's whereabouts. Bardock also warns Kakarotto to watch out for the Galactic Patrolman as the pod rockets. Bardock puts his arm around Gine and both watch their son leaving planet Vegeta. Gine is presumed to be killed along with most of the other Saiyans when Freeza destroys planet Vegeta. No account details her survival. Abilities. A true account of Gine's abilities was never accurately mentioned. At the very least, she had the power required to fight alongside Bardock as a member of his squad and was therefore very likely a low-class Saiyan. However, despite the power she may have had, she lacked the resolve to use it, much like her grandson, Gohan, would later display, and this resulted in a lack of a battle sense that caused Bardock to rescue her multiple times in combat. Power. Manga. Before she retired from Bardock's team, Gine was a low-class Saiyan warrior. However, unlike her husband and sons, her gentle personality apparently made her unsuited for combat and Bardock routinely had to save her from the dangers of the battlefield, indicating either low fighting ability and/or due to her lacking the ruthlessness of her husband and comrades. As a result, Gine retired from the army and went to work as a Saiyan meat distribution employee. Transformations. As a Saiyan, she naturally possessed the ability to transform into a great ape during a full moon or when exposed to some other source of Brute's waves, such as from a power ball. Legacy. Gine, as well as her husband, Bardock, were instrumental in setting up a string of events that would go on to save the universe. By sending their youngest son, Kakarotto, away from the impending destruction of Vegeta and the entire Saiyan race, he would go on to grow up and become a great hero responsible for saving the planet Earth, as well as the universe, on more than one occasion. Their influence in this manner even resulted in the first Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan God manifesting itself in their youngest son for the first time in more than 1,000 years.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.